Getting the Secret Life of a Call Girl.
Oh my gosh, this is the real exclusive. Little peek behind the curtain. I feel like I'm
That's
meeting the wizard.
that's oh god. I hope I could grow up to be like Jeff Goldblum.
So nice to be speaking to you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you. I saw your interview with Vibe the other day. It was
Cute.
lovely. Very
Nice.
sweet.
Very nice. Yeah. Yeah. Excited for the tour. So nice to be able to kind of like chat with everybody.
Yeah, right. It's
Can't
it's
wait
it's
to.
like yeah, what a bizarre experience to suddenly be back into like all of us together.
Yeah, right. Would this be the first time everyone, I guess it would be, right? With everyone getting back
Not
together?
since we had a press day back before the season launched, where we all got together and got very drunk the night before, which was fabulous. But apart from that, yeah, no, this will be the first time properly all back together.
How fun. How
Yeah,
fun.
so cute.
Well, I'm remiss if I don't say congratulations for winning the whole damn thing.
Thank
Oh
you
my
so
God.
much, Joel. I really
Winning
appreciate
RuPaul's
it.
Drag Race Down Under. Was there a
Well,
moment
just
where you
Drag
thought
Race Down Under.
that's true? Well, I
We
guess it's
didn't
still
have
RuPaul's.
we didn't have a blessing.
You're still blessed.
Oh,
Was there a moment where you thought, I've got this. I've got these bitches.
I do you know it swung violently. I kind of because I like this is the curse of being an Australian is like we have such a strong sense of tall poppy syndrome that you like, oh my god, amazing! Like I'm gonna do this. I'm doing so well, and then you're like, wait, bitch, you're not that good. Calm down. So like throughout the entire competition, I would simultaneously be like, this is going pretty well. And then I would be like, but I'm still learning the fucking lip sync. I am so terrified that I'm going to go home this week. So, it was very
Especially
like,
with that, yeah, with that type of show where anything can happen.
I mean,
You would
truly,
not
we've
want to
seen some
jinx yourself, you know?
absolute legends go home. And also, it's like, I think if you start thinking you've got this in the bag, number one, you come across like a fucking asshole. But number two, you're doing yourself a disservice because you kind of produce your best work when you really feel like you're up against the wall. Like you're
Yes,
like, I'm completely fucked.
that's so
Can I say
true. Was
fucked
there,
on
of course you can,
Mr. and
say whatever.
Mister?
Was there a moment that you thought, looking back on the season, where you think, I'm really proud of that one singular moment, like I did that? That's where I really left my mark.
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, like there was because of the nature of the kind of runways that I was trying to do, all of them were like on a knife's edge between like this could get pulled off and this will absolutely fail. Like, there were so many times before that hollow runway where we didn't know whether it would work. Like, we didn't know whether I could get the battery that I used to power it inside of the purse through onto the
Oh
plane, and it
God.
was just like just under the voltage limit for international travel. There was like, it looks good in the room, but can a camera pick it up? Because cameras are different to the human eye, and so they
Of
like create
course.
like a strobing effect. So there was these moments where it's like every single thing just fell in my favor just a little bit to allow those things to go off. So like the hologram runway was incredible. Like the lazy Susan spinning around my body, that wasn't working like 2 seconds before I went out into the runway. It was getting jammed on the internal mechanism. And so
Right.
it's like I'm sitting there like, ah! And so it's like the difference between me walking out with something that isn't working, looking like a fucking idiot, and something that is working was so like
Yeah,
razor
that's like a
thin. And
1%. Yeah,
yeah, and
room
I'm
for
so
error.
proud because a lot of those mechanisms were things that I designed. So if something was going wrong, I knew how to fix them. That's
Right.
the thing I'm proud of as a kind of like I'm not a sewer, but I can kind of engineer some little bits and bobs
She
and
ain't just a pretty face.
well, she's barely a pretty face, but she can MacGyver some shit from time to time.
Is there a moment in hindsight that you would love to go back and rewrite history?
Oh, I was thinking about this in the car today. Yes. I mean, there's a few things where like, I was just like so in my bag of like, I just want to do whatever I want to do. And I want to do all the things that I've always dreamed of doing here on Drag Race. So it's like with Snatch Game, like, I should have, I feel like I was just so pig-headed about wanting to be Lindsay Lohan because my Lindsay Lohan impression is so good that I was just like, I'll do this, but I should have gone for more of a comedic option. And then like with my lip sync, I was so like we were like so up against the wall with coming up with our final verses, and I had something like in the bag from like, I don't know, a few years before that I was like, oh, I could just bust that out. And I was like, no, it should be written on the show to feel like it's part of the show. But I kind of wish that I'd just like phoned that bit in and just been like, da da da. But I'd made a friend a promise before I went on the show, and she was like, bitch, if I see you up there being like, I'm the crown and I'm a hot bitch and I'm blah blah blah. She's like, I'll disown you forever. So I had to honor that promise because it just wouldn't have been muy.
Well, there you go. Lots riding on it. Lots riding on it. We
Yes.
mentioned Michelle before, and obviously this is a historic season in the sense that Michelle's
Yes.
holding the reins. What was the experience like with Michelle in the host seat?
She's incredible. God damn it. Don't you love her? She's so good. Just a truly like rare person that's able to simultaneously keep the kind of mechanism of the show turning, which is all the bullshitty kind of like, we've got to say this to get to the next section, but also make it sound fresh, make it
Yes.
sound new, and also come across like a really empathetic and interested person. And that's a kind of hard thing to do when you've been at it for so long. When you think like she's been doing it for, God, 11 years? More, 12. Like, that's crazy. And she still manages to take an interest in each of the girls.
Mm. Yeah, I feel like there's still so much humanity in the way that she delivers, even though you're
It,
like, yeah, exactly as you said, she's hitting all the marks and doing everything to move the show forward in a
yeah.
very scripted, stilted sort of a way, but making it feel fresh and then also bringing so much heart to it.
And she did take care of us. Like, she was, I mean, like, as much as she could. Like, she's a host of a TV show, but
Mm.
like, she was there and she like remembered us and kind of knew our stories. And, you know, particularly with Max, I remember there was a day where she like, as soon as the camera stopped rolling, went over and had a chat with her that would have
Mm.
been great television, but she knew that it wasn't meant for that. Like,
Right.
it's that thing of like, you know, she wasn't trying to exploit that moment. She was trying to be like, hey, girl, it's okay. You're going to make it through this. That's okay. And it was so beautiful to watch and know that it wasn't for anyone but them and the
Yeah.
drag queens peering over from across the room.
From behind the bushes.
Yeah.
That's quite beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
She's a
do you
real.
have drag family who gave you advice before going in?
Oh yeah, I mean, I got all my sisters on board to help. So, I mean, my whole package was brought together by my drag sister, Mum, the drag queen, who's incredible, and she basically like handled all the logistics of getting all the designers together and working. And she would kind of watch everything and give an opinion. My drag sister Zelda Moon, who I work with on a podcast nowadays, but she helped with some makeup stuff, which, I mean, we could have maybe spent more time on that, but that's okay. And then my sister, like Dandrogyny, like walked me through some Corey stuff, which maybe we could have spent more time on. But you know, like
There's
there
never
was
enough
like
time.
everyone was basically like, you know, trying to raise that barn at the same time. Like, what can we do to help our girl out? So I do
Yeah.
feel like my drag sisters took good care of me. And Miss Art Simone, she had all the advice because she'd been in season one. And so she kind of let me know. And Miss Gabriella Labucci, both of them were incredible. They like told me where good spots to sit in the workroom were to be under the air conditioning, like how to like over order on your Uber Eats in the evening so you have a snack as soon as you
Some
get back to your
leftovers.
hotel room. Like this sort of
Smart.
weird technical stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for future girls, make sure you bring a USB with files in MPEG 4 because that will go into the hotel TV and then you can watch porn.
The things we need to know. It takes a
Honey,
village.
that's
Get
right.
everyone together. Well, this was
Because
going to be my next question of like, what advice would you have for future Rue girls going in? I guess you've just answered it though.
there you go.
That's the important stuff.
If that's my legacy, if that you put that under the bronze statue of me in the town square, that way you can watch porn.
Well, now that you are a reality TV veteran, um, what is the next franchise that you would like to potentially step into? I did ask this to Vibe, and she
Yes,
said
she said
Survivor, so
Survivor.
that's taken. So
Yeah, I won't. I would not do Survivor. Absolutely not. What reality TV show do I want to do? Do I get to be a judge or do I get to be a contestant?
I mean, it's your fantasy. You can do
Um,
whatever you want, really.
there was a like
As a viewer, I'd like to see you go through the contestants or the
I'd like to
situation,
see you
just because
break.
that's so
No, but I'd be such a cunt judge. That would be my dream, just to be an awful person. And particularly, when there's judges that have no real expertise in the thing that they're judging, like when Katy Perry was a judge on the American Idol, you're just like, that's the dream. Um,
So you think you can dance?
yes. Oh my god, that would be so incredible. You can't, but yes, that would be amazing. I would live. Imagine if they wheeled me out on So You Think You Can Dance. I mean, also
Incredible.
that would be quite funny to do as a contestant because I always love when they have like the one Dodgerella girl that gets swept in, and you're essentially watching like a lifeless, Botox bloated corpse getting dragged around by a very fit dance teacher in his 20s. That's like my dream.
Amazing. Amazing. There's been so many international versions of Drag Race, obviously. Thinking back of everything you've seen, what's a lip sync that you have that really stands out in your mind as being the ultimate lip sync
Oh
smackdown?
God.
Is there one performance where you think of like
I always
a
think
killer?
about, I mean, that Chi Chi Devane and I Am Telling You
Oh
original
yeah,
Tony performance version is so good and kind of like only grows in its power year by year. Yeah, that was fucking incredible. That does stay with me. Yeah, Chi Chi Devane and I Am Telling You. The
that's a good
pearls,
one.
yeah,
I know, right? You can't make that stuff up.
that's good. That's good.
What do you think is the most important ingredient for a great lip sync?
Um, well, hopefully it's not dancing. To me, it's like the shape of the performance. Like I think it's like like it's kind of you've got to be able to work through different modalities. God, what am I saying? I
Like
mean, it's
building
just
it,
like it's got to have a build, it's got to have a
got to
satisfactory
modulate.
climax, and it's got to have this kind of like it can't just be the same thing for like 4 minutes.
No,
Like to me, it should have that legendary build, and that's why when you see girls who like Max is a really good example, is that she has the stunts and the splits and everything, but she administers them so perfectly within the song. And if the song doesn't need it, she doesn't do it. But it's like she allows the build to happen, and then at the crescendo will drop or like give
yeah,
a split or something.
it's the
It's that
exclamation point on the sentence.
yes.
Yeah,
And it's like it's not just throwing out whatever you have all at once. It's like making the audience wait and beg and build the tension and then land it perfectly. That to me, it's all good storytelling.
incredible. Who's your favorite Down Under queen?
Me. No, I don't know. Who do
The
I
winner,
love?
der.
Yeah. I mean, I love Miss Simone, but we're actually just real life friends. Miss Gab is so incredible. I love Minnie Cooper. Do you know who's actually a fucking gun? I know that I'm like everyone in the world knows this, but like when I spent some time with Hannah Conda at DragCon UK, she is like exactly what it says on the tin. Like, sometimes girls seem really nice and like kind on television and you meet them in real life and they're cunts. Like, Hannah genuinely does care about that many people and is that nice. Like, she's so lovely.
She's really cool. I went to the queer screen. The Mardi Gras Film Festival had a screening of Cabaret a couple of nights ago,
Oh,
and
person
she
up
came
us.
out at the start dressed as Liza Minnelli and did a number before the film. It was the best. It was so camp. It
Good,
was really cool.
good. Oh,
Who's
God.
your favorite international queen then?
I mean, I love Theresa May. I mean, I met her the other day at DragCon UK. She's really cool. I just love her design stuff.
Hmm,
Um, God, who else? Alaska Thunderfuck is probably my favorite drag queen of all time.
legendary.
I just like it's kind of hard to break that. Miss Tammy Brown, of course, but like, yeah, I love the girls that like continually surprise with like whatever their project they're working on. It's like they seem to be doing it more for them than for anyone else. It's
Nice.
cool.
Is there another Aussie queen who hasn't been on the show yet who you'd like to, if you had the chance to cast someone for next season, who you'd like to put forward?
I have to, like, I mean, I really want my drag sister to be on, Miss Zelda Moon. So I'm working towards that. But outside of the realms of nepotism, but she would be really good.
Right.
She's like a nice person, which would be like an interesting thing for the show. Um, and then, I mean, I said Asia Buffet, I think, will be really good when she finally fucking goes on. If you don't know her, Melbourne legend, Asia Buffet, she
Okay.
is like future winner. Like, there's just
Nice.
no, if she goes on that show, she will win.
Well,
And then,
cool.
like, Victoria Bitter, also incredible Melbourne queen, who's on the up at the moment. Just like, check her out. She is the like top tits.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So have you done Mardi Gras in Sydney before? It's Mardi Gras time here at the moment, obviously. So
What?
what are
No,
you
I
talking
have.
about?
I'm so.
What's your first Mardi Gras memory? Like, was
So
the
I
first one you went
came
to?
to Mardi Gras. I was performing as part of. We were doing like an installation, which is what we call when we don't want to do lip syncs. But me and the Beastie Girls, who are my drag sisters, were like running through a whole four-story building, dressed as slutty cyber cops from the future, and we had like cameras like here that we were like live streaming to Instagram, like what was it, whatever was on our cameras, and then it was also showing upstairs,
How
and that
cool.
was really fun. And also, gay people hate getting approached by people that look like cops with cameras on their chest, but it was really fun. It was very silly. But
Makes for some
I've
good
done
footage,
a
I
lot
bet.
of like I used to work in advertising, so like I've done a lot of like installations and activations for Mardi Gras through ads. Like
Hmm,
last year, we did the W Hotels float, and then the Coke installation was by me and my creative partner, and all that sort of stuff. So like
how
I've had
cool.
the kind of weird both sides of the coin of like hiring the drag queens to be at Mardi Gras and then being a drag queen at Mardi Gras
Hmm,
or a
that's really
space
cool.
cop.
That's really cool. There's a slight controversy at the moment about a lack of drag representation on the main stage at the Mardi Gras after party. Have you heard about this or have any thoughts on this? I guess it's a little odd in my mind that there's an entire globally recognized TV show that shines a light on Australian drag. And I guess when the world comes to Australia to then attend Mardi Gras, you would expect to see that. You'd expect to, even the
Why
locals, of
would
course.
you see that? I mean, I hadn't heard anything, but it doesn't surprise me. Can I say, and this probably sounds a bit like I don't want this to be the tone of the interview, but
Hmm,
I do think that there is drag goes in cycles of like ebbs and flows. And I think, particularly in Adelaide at the moment, there was a major drag boom that happened. You know, you probably could track it back to like the Amy ad with Art Simone and Filma Box, and like all of the drag that was happening kind of that I think in, you know, historical texts of drag we will look back on as the kind of golden era. And I think now there's just like a lot more drag, and I think people are really like kind of looking for the next thing, you know, like they're really excited for whatever that thing is.
hmm.
So I think maybe there's just Mardi Gras taking a year off drag and they want to try something else. I don't know, it's interesting, but I mean it's also, it's funny to watch it happen at the same time as like Trump is taking over the Kennedy Center and forbidding drag in those venues as well. I think it's like the pendulum of what queer communities are allowed to look like does swing quite violently.
It's such a strange time, hey? Well, one
Yeah.
place that audiences can be guaranteed to catch a big dose of local drag icons is RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under. I'm sorry, Drag Race Down Under.
I wasn't going to say anything. You go
Live
ahead.
national tour. What can we expect from the show?
Oh my gosh. I wish I had some of the props that I'm working on at the moment. You can expect some like we got some big stuff happening over here at Lazy HQ for that one. I
Nice.
said like we got to make sure we have something fresh. We got to make sure we have something exciting. We got to make sure the kids remember. So yeah, I'm really excited. There's like the spot is coming together beautifully. I think all of us are kind of on the trajectory of trying to one up each other. So you can expect all of us putting in the most possible.
It's a whole new competition.
Yeah, exactly. For the love of fans. No,
Season
but I think
5.
it's gonna be kind of part reunion special, part performances, you know, like part drunken buffoonery on stage. Like I think the major thing that our cast had, if, without sounding too braggadocious, is like an amazing chemistry, and I can't wait to see how that translates into a live event because I think it's gonna be absolutely stupid as hell.
Here's hoping so. That makes for the best entertainment. Are there any cities that you're hitting that you haven't performed in yet or haven't visited yet that you're looking forward to?
Oh, I mean, like I was lucky enough to be on the last In the Dark tour with Katya for Scream Queens,
Oh,
but
brilliant.
I'm so excited to go back to some of these places. Like, um, when you're on these tours, you pretty much spend the entire time just seeing the inside of hotel rooms and the back rooms of auditoriums, but you do get a sense of what's happening outside through the quality of the charcuterie platter that comes to you. And so I all I desire is to look at a Brisbane charcuterie platter once more and taste of its delights.
And taste the local meats.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Incredible. So you obviously have gotten to know the rest of the cast quite well from having gone through the process together. Just a cheeky one to close on. Who's the one queen who you absolutely would not want to share a dressing room or a hotel room with? Now, Vibe said Mandy.
Why did she say Mandy?
She said they would be too similar. That they would be
Too.
far too chaotic and messy. That there'd be makeup thrown everywhere, and it would be like
That's very
living
kind.
with herself. She said.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I mean, like I was the messiest girl on set, so I don't know. I think I'm probably the issue here. Um, who would I not want to be in the same room with? I mean, inevitably, if I was in the same room with Nikita Iman, she would like lose her hotel key, and then at 3 in the morning, like come home and be like, "Lazy babe, can you open the door? I need you to let me in." Like da da da. So I think it'd probably be Nikita, but then again, she'd also have like good wine. So it's a
Yeah,
hard
right.
one. Yeah.
Can't wait to see the show. It's going to be so cool. I'll be there cheering you guys on. Tell
Wait,
people where.
are you coming?
Yeah, in
Oh,
Sydney, I'll be
bitch.
there. I wouldn't
Amazing.
miss it.
Oh,
Wouldn't miss
good.
it. Tell viewers where they can find out more about tickets and
Yes.
information.
Okay. So if you would like to get tickets, please do. We encourage you to do that. So go to itdevents.com, book ASAP because, it's time to move those little mothers, and then we'll see you there.
Nice. And where can people follow you?
You can find me at Ms. Lazy Susan on Instagram and TikTok, and you can listen to my voice on Spotify and wherever good podcasts are found on the podcast Death to Everyone.
There we go.
There we go.
Simple as that. Lazy Susan, you're a legend.
Cheers, Joel.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
you. Thank you.
Love